watching all the cars that are going to be inspected in a new James Bond movie, which is the 24th movie.
We had a relationship with Bond a couple of films ago. Now with this car here, the CX75, again, the baddie's driving the Jaguar, but that's fine by us.
I have to say that all car chase scenes aren't created equal. I think this one in particular is going to be very special. I think for the main reason, the cars are just so unique. When it was actually done, I mean, we really did this. It's not CGI, it's not special effect and green screen. I mean, we actually did this.
At Special Operations, our role, if you like, is to push the boundaries on all of our cars, whether it's capability or performance. So the Defender is an obvious car for the film. We've got the Range Rover Sport SVR. Range Rover Sport SVR is the most powerful, fastest Land Rover ever built.
There's a kind of ruggedness about the car which really fits with Bond, that you can imagine someone taking an adventure like the way that I did in the Defender and Skyfall in the opening sequence. You know, I was out in all terrain and you felt as though it was the perfect car for that.
Bond over time has evolved and has gained iconic status. It's won the hearts and minds of people all over the world. And in a similar way, that's what Land Rover have done.
You can expect Skyfall times 1,000. That's the best way I can describe it, because he just tapped into something and he just took it and he turned it up and spec'd it.
You know, the inspiration for any car comes from the want to do something very dramatic, especially a Jaguar. So the silhouette is always very important. We worked very hard with that silhouette, and you can see some of that in F-Type. The front grille is clearly of the family. The way the headlamps run over the front wings, or that linear effect of the tail lamps wrapping around and giving that sense of width. You can see that on the F-Type Jaguar. The whole element of storytelling is very much part of what we're about. It's an undercurrent of menace slightly, strength, power, but the surface is very cool. You know, it's very calm. And when you create a car, it's about telling a story. That windscreen is my piece of cinema, but I'm in it. I'm in the movie. I love that. The Bond film is all about adrenaline, it's all about power. It's a very masculine film, and I think the CX75 is quite a masculine car. Now I want people to look at our cars and know they're exciting, but not quite know why or how. And what's important is the atmosphere. Get the atmosphere right, they should be consistent across all the models. They're all there. You don't see it, you feel it. That's the main thing. The atmosphere of the CX75 is in all our cars. What Jaguars will do is you will turn around, you'll see them in the corner of your eye, and you'll want to look at them. You can't quite tell how or why. And there's something about Bond in that as well, that sort of subtlety of mystique, intrigue. But there's more to that man than meets the eye. And Jaguar's exactly the same.
SVO is a new division that stands for Special Vehicles Operations, which is a division created by Jaguar Land Rover to cater for customers who want the ultimate luxury, ultimate performance.
Our bespoke team will work with individual customers to design and develop their own individual cars.
It's not every day that you produce a car that's going to be in a chase scene in the middle of Rome at night time and you're chasing James Bond.
We know working on this project, you know, the standards are so high, you know, perfection is what's required.
Like with the other vehicles that we were preparing for the Spectre movie, I knew we needed to produce about 7 cars. We only had 1 car and we had 12 weeks. The answer is yes first, and let's work it through.
The initial requirements from the stunt team were about handling, it's about dynamic driving. You know, that's what we look for, that's what we design in our road cars. So, you know, in many ways there's a lot of crossover.
Working with the Spectrum team, nothing was off the table. You're in those meetings going, this is just the craziest meeting I've ever had.
That was the kind of biggest challenge, just to work out how do you take this car and modify it so that it can deliver these amazing stunts that the guys had envisaged.
I think we went through something like 30 sets of tyres in one stunt period, just so the guys could really test the car to its limits and understand where those boundaries were.
Every single car drove its way off the film set, which I think is quite an achievement.
What we've learned from working with the Spectre movie is just how intense it can be, but that everybody's on that same vision of creating the best movie, and the best stunt scenes, and it's absolute credit to the team that they've delivered these cars.
It's always been the history of Bonds to do stunts for real, and you know, we do our best to keep that up. I was given a Jaguar CX75 to play with. When I had the original meeting with all the guys from Jaguar, and they're like, "What? I am going to smash them to pieces. I'm not going to be gentle with them." Normally car chases are involving lots of cars, there's lots of collateral damage, it's busy streets. In our story, it's sort of 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, streets are empty. The cars in the chase are as important as the characters as well. You know, you've got Bond in the Aston, then you've got Hinks in the CX75, who is just this big beast of a guy that just goes through walls to get to people. We wanted plenty of horsepower to do like drifting or anything like that, but reliable horsepower, which for us on a film set is like a golden rule. We had an F-type engine in there which was kicking out probably 560 brake horsepower. If anything, we actually had to detune it because, you know, it was such a powerful engine.
So today we are here in the racetrack to drive the CX75, the villain James Bond car. Williams advanced engineer built this amazing car. The CX75 is like a beast. Yeah, it's nice. It is fast, fun, and I was even thinking that I was going to overtake James Bond in the movie. I'm gonna get you, James Bond! I think I will make a very good James Bond villain, so I think I will be really fast in the car, but a little bit crazy outside as well. I'm coming! Oh my god, it's an amazing car! Stunning! Fantastic car! I never considered to be a Eastern driver. Why not? Maybe. I still have a long career in front in Formula 1, but maybe in the future, you never know.
It was a piece of history that never actually happened.
The unmistakable song of 12 cylinders in full cry.
It's just a phenomenal piece of machinery. Great proportion, almost aeronautical in its purity. One of the fastest cars ever made for the time. It was probably one of the most fascinating Jaguars ever built, and we only built one.
I always look at the 13 as the lady. She's the perfect shape. All the curves are in the right places. And when I walk in, the first thing I do is just go over and say hello and talk to her. We had a maximum speed of 200 miles an hour with that car. Just purely an out-and-out race car. A car that is born to be driven hard. By the time we'd finished it, looking for Le Mans, Le Mans went and changed the regulations for the engine size and brought it down to 3 litre, so that meant we couldn't race it. But it would have walked Le Mans, there's no question about it.
The XJ13 was put to one side while the company got on with its future, and so it lost its moment. It lost its moment, it was gone. But we will always default to that car as being one of the most beautiful Jaguars ever. The XJ13 is a great inspiration to us as a design team. And so when we were asked to design something to celebrate 75 years of Jaguar, I said to the team, well, let's be inspired by something that we recognise from within. Through that, we've developed the CX75. To me, the design process, getting a pencil out and a piece of paper and having visual thoughts and communicating through paper. So from this sketch or idea we might have, we then go into three-dimensional model building. And that's when the real fun begins. some minds it's still, I think, very old-fashioned, but that to me is where the real sense of form and line comes to life. And we can feel it, and we can touch it, and we can walk around it. My design work would only be as good as the people I worked with in terms of the clay modelers, the sculptors, the people who are creating the shapes. The designer creates the idea, and the modeler has to interpret that. And it's something I really wholly believe in, is that relationship. Missed a bit.
Well enough. So national.
We had no plans to make a car like this. It's inspired by the XJ13. It gives it its soul, gives it its character. And there are cues in it which are very evident. And there's some that are quite different. But for those who know, they know.
They invited me over to Paris when we launched the CX75. All the lights went down and the car came in, and I was standing with Ian, and as it came in and then stopped, I said, "Superb, that's a lot of the XJ13 there." He said, "Yeah."